3 weeks passed since I told Jamal I was done being his bank. 3 weeks of silence from him. 3 weeks of sleeping better than I had in years. I thought maybe he finally understood. I thought maybe he was learning to stand on his own 2 feet. I was wrong. It's Thursday afternoon when my doorbell rings. I'm not expecting anyone. Through the peephole, I see a man in a cheap suit holding a folder. My heart starts pounding even before I open the door. "Dolores Jones?" he asks. "Yes. I'm serving you with a lawsuit." He hands me the folder and walks away before I can say another word. My hands shake as I open it. The words blur together at first, but then they come into focus. Jamal is suing me. My own son is suing me for the $20,000 I gave him for the house. He's claiming it was a loan, not a gift, and he wants me to sign over the deed to my apartment as collateral. I sink onto my couch, the papers falling from my hands. How could he do this? How could he twist my love into a weapon against me? The phone rings. It's Jamal. "Mama, did you get the papers?" His voice is cold. Businesslike. Nothing like the son I raised. "Jamal, how could you? You left me no choice, Mama. You cut me off. You turned your back on your own family. The movers took our deposit. We had to sleep on the floor of that house for a week because we couldn't afford furniture. Kesha's mother had to lend us money. I gave you $48,000 over 5 years, Jamal. Every penny I had. And I'm grateful, Mama. But that $20,000 was specifically for the house. We had an agreement. I have it in writing. What are you talking about? We never signed anything. Actually, we did. Remember that paper you signed when I was setting up your online banking 2 years ago? The one I said was just a security form? Read the fine print, Mama. It was a promissory note. The room spins. I remember that day. Jamal sitting at my kitchen table with his laptop, telling me I needed to sign this form so he could help me manage my accounts better. I trusted him completely. I signed without reading. "You tricked me," I whisper. "I protected my family, Mama. That's what a man does. Now, we can settle this quietly. Sign over your apartment, and I'll forgive the debt. Or we can go to court, and you'll lose everything anyway. Plus legal fees. Your choice." He hangs up before I can respond. I sit there for hours as the sun sets and the room grows dark. I don't turn on the lights. I just sit there thinking about the boy I raised, trying to find him in the man who just threatened to take my home. Finally, I pick up my phone and call the only person I trust. Leonita answers on the first ring. "Girl, I was just thinking about you. How you holding up?" "Leonita, I need a lawyer. A good one. Jamal is suing me." Within an hour, Leonita is at my apartment with her nephew, attorney Marcus Williams. He's young, maybe 35, but his eyes are sharp and kind. He reads through the papers carefully. Then he looks up at me. "Mrs. Jones, did you sign this promissory note?" "I don't know. Maybe. Jamal had me sign something for online banking. But I never agreed to a loan." "That's fraud, Mrs. Jones. He obtained your signature under false pretenses. But proving it might be difficult. What are my options? We can fight this. But litigation is expensive and stressful. Or," he pauses, thinking, "or we can be strategic about this." "What do you mean?" "Your son made a mistake. He filed this lawsuit in civil court, which means it's now a matter of public record. If we can prove he fraudulently obtained your signature, that's not just a civil matter anymore. That's criminal fraud." My breath catches. "You mean Jamal could go to jail?" "Yes, ma'am, if you want to pursue that route." I think about my son in prison. I think about my grandchildren without their father. But then I think about the old woman sleeping on a park bench because her family stole everything from her. I think about myself, about to lose my home because I loved too much. "Tell me what I need to do," I say. Attorney Williams smiles. It's not a happy smile. It's the smile of someone who's about to go to war. "First, we're going to need proof that you never agreed to a loan. Do you keep a journal?" "Yes. I write in it every night." "Good. We'll need that. We'll also need bank statements, any texts or emails where Jamal discussed the money, and anyone who can testify about the nature of your relationship with your son." Over the next 2 days, we build my case. Leonita helps me gather documents. We find text messages from 3 years ago where Jamal writes, "Thanks for the birthday money, Mama. You're the best. I don't deserve you." Not a word about loans or repayment. We find my journal entries. "Gave Jamal $2,000 today for his car. He looked so worried. I'm glad I could help my baby." No mention of expecting it back. We find 17 different occasions over 5 years where Jamal asked for money, and I gave it freely, with love, with no expectation of repayment. On Monday morning, we go to the police station. I file a formal complaint for fraud and identity theft. The detective who takes my statement is a middle-aged woman with tired eyes. She's seen this before. Too many times. Mrs. Jones, I have to tell you something. If we investigate this and find evidence of fraud, your son will be arrested. He could face up to 5 years in prison. Are you sure you want to proceed? I think about Jamal as a little boy, bringing me dandelions from the yard. I think about him at his high school graduation, hugging me tight and saying, "We did it, Mama. You and me." I think about him holding his firstborn son, tears streaming down his face, saying, "Now I understand how much you sacrificed for me." But then I think about the phone call I overheard. My mom's fine in her apartment. She always finds something to fuss about. A real family. Yes, I say. I'm sure. The investigation moves faster than I expected. Within a week, detectives have interviewed Jamal, Kesha, and several of their friends. They've examined Jamal's computer and found the promissory note was created 2 years after it was supposedly signed. The metadata doesn't lie. They also found something else. Something I didn't know about. Detective Santos calls me on Friday afternoon. "Mrs. Jones, we need you to come down to the station. There's something you need to see." At the station, she shows me bank records. Not mine. Jamal's. "Mrs. Jones, over the past 3 years, your son has withdrawn over $15,000 from your savings account using a debit card in his name. Did you authorize these withdrawals?" I stare at the records. Small amounts. $200 here. $500 there. Never enough for me to notice right away. But over time, it adds up. "I gave him that debit card for emergencies," I whisper. "In case I was in the hospital or something, and he needed to pay my bills." "These weren't emergencies, Mrs. Jones. Look at the dates and locations. This withdrawal was at a casino in Atlantic City. This one was at a luxury hotel. This one was at a jewelry store." She shows me more records. While I was eating ramen and skipping my blood pressure medication to save money, Jamal was taking weekend trips to Atlantic City. While I was patching my winter coat with duct tape, he was buying Kesha a $2,000 diamond bracelet. The betrayal cuts so deep I can't breathe. "We're going to arrest him, Mrs. Jones. Today. I wanted you to know first." "The children," I say. "What about his children?" "That's not your responsibility, ma'am. Your son made his choices." That afternoon, Jamal is arrested at his house. The news spreads fast. By evening, my phone is ringing nonstop. Kesha, Miss Cynthia, even people from church I haven't spoken to in years. I don't answer any of them. Instead, I sit in my quiet apartment and write in my journal. I write about the boy who used to climb into my bed during thunderstorms. I write about the young man who promised to take care of me when I got old. And I write about the stranger who tried to steal my home. 3 days later, I get a visitor I don't expect. It's Kesha, but she's alone. No Miss Cynthia. No children. Just her, looking 10 years older than the last time I saw her. "Can I come in?" she asks. I almost say no, but something in her face makes me step aside. We sit in my living room, the same place where Jamal cried and begged me to help him just weeks ago. "I didn't know," Kesha says. "About the debit card. About the casino. About any of it. Didn't you wonder where the money came from?"